Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, recently I've been on numerous cruises in the past 3 or 4 months, and I am noticing some really big changes, say from even just 2 years ago. And these are changes that a lot of people are starting to notice and really starting to complain about cruising. And this is something that the cruise lines seem to be doing intentionally, and I wonder how much longer people are going to put up with it. So what are some things that cruise lines have started doing, especially most recently in the past few years, that is changing the way our experiences are on cruising, as well as, our feelings towards cruising sometimes. Doing some changes can really make us and give us a sour taste in your mouth, if you know what I mean. Well, one of the things out there right now, because cruising has been booming the last 1.5 to 2 years, going into 2025 as well, we're looking for another record year in cruising, is overcrowding. It just seems that the cruise ships now are so packed. Cruise ships that used to feel there was a flow and easy maneuverability and lots of room in different places, they just seem overcrowded now, because don't forget, a cruise line's capacity is based on double occupancy. Well, they also have cabins that hold 3 and 4 people. So if a cruise ship holds 5,000 people, but they have half those cabins can hold 3 people to 4 people, the cruise ship can actually put in 7,000 people on that ship, while it seems to be built for 5,000. And so I'm even noticing this on the Oasis class ships that used to really have a flow, etc. They just felt really crowded right now. And cruise ships aren't helping the situation, because when they bring the cruise ships, some of them, into dry dock, what's the refurbishment you hear a lot? They added new cabins. They took away this area and they added new cabins for people to book. Well, that's just more people and less room for people on the ship. Again, overcrowding. Another thing that people are complaining about recently is short staff. The cruise lines seem to be trying to really streamline the situation, from cutting back on their entertainment, cutting back on their people in the dining halls, the bars. How many bars now are you lining up for to get a drink? Or that you order something on, say, an app, and it's supposed to come to you within 15-20 minutes, and it's an hour and 15 minutes, because they are just so short-staffed to get you there. And I've been on cruises now where there's literally 20 and 30 people around a bar trying to get a drink, and there's 1 bartender or 2 bartenders tops. It's just very frustrating that the shortness of staff sometimes. And I feel sorry for the staff on board, because they just get overworked. They're trying to get more and more out of the crew for less and less money. Speaking of less and less, how about less housekeeping? Remember when you used to get 2 turn-down services every day? And now you get 1. And that's on most cruise lines. Not all. Some cruise lines still do 2 turn-down services. Princess, for instance, still does 2 turn-down services. Hopefully that continues. But so many other cruise lines have now gone to a 1-time turn-down service. And so, and why is that? Because now they can have that 1 stateroom attendant do more rooms, and that just, again, overworks the staff, and also makes you feel, like you have to work around their schedule as opposed to them working around yours. It just doesn't make a very good, fun experience. How about this lately? Changing your itinerary. Now, we all understand if an itinerary is changed because of weather, or hey, there's political unrest in that country, right? Or there was an earthquake. We all understand those kinds of things. Even a mechanical problem on the ship, we can understand to some degree, at least most of us. But changing itineraries after final payment is done with none of these as an explanation. The explanations are often, we're changing it because of fuel efficiency, and we want to give our best experiences to the client. Well, the best experience would have been if I went to that port. Why are you changing the port? So you can save money on fuel. And that's happening more and more. And the real frustrating part of it is it's coming after your final payment, which means you can't just cancel. Even if you had a refundable deposit, once that final payment's in, that's gone. Your money's gone. You're losing percentages after percentage every week getting closer to your cruise. So most people just have to bite the bullet and take it because the cruise line says it's okay. And really, that's not okay. For a logical reason, yes, but just changing it because you want to save money on fuel, or I don't want to pay that port fee, so we're changing that, and we're just going to do it willy-nilly. That's getting very, very frustrating for people. Another thing that's going on with the cruise lines right now is upselling. How many cruise ships do you step on now? And the minute you get on that ship, they're in your face trying to sell you stuff. Have you bought the drink package? Hey, how about this dining venue? Have you seen our jewelry? Come to him. They're trying to sell you the minute you walk on the ship. In fact, I've been on cruise ships now where the announcements of our daily activities, well, 5 out of the 7 announcements were for events trying to sell you stuff. Come to the gallery for our photos thing. Come to the painting auctions. Come to our jewelry store and you can get a pendant and stay for those champagne. But hey, we're going to try and sell you stuff while you're there. It's always in your face everywhere. I've now sat down in a specialty dining restaurant where I'm enjoying a meal I have already upgraded to pay for, and somebody came around and tried to sell me a future cruise credit while I'm eating my specialty dinner. That should be unacceptable, and quite frankly, it is. I'm trying to enjoy my meal, and I paid for this meal, and now you have a salesperson coming up to me and trying to sell me something. That should never happen. How about the fact that they're cutting back on food options as well? Less choices for your room service, less choices in the buffet, less choices in the main dining. And it's all because of food waste. That's right. We're being financially sound and we're being environmentally friendly and we're cutting back on food waste. Think of all the starving people out there. We're cutting back on food waste. Let's face it. If you're paying $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 on your cruise to take a vacation, do you really care that there's food left over on your plate? Most people don't. Most people don't give a darn. Most people just want to enjoy and have choices when they're doing their cruise. And finally, a very annoying trend that's going on right now with cruise lines is that the ships they're building have too small of venues. Think of the Prima, for instance, with Norwegian. How many people complain that the venues on that ship, like in the bars and the restaurant, the ship holds 5,000 people and they have a bar that holds 70. That's their most popular bar on the ship. They have a Fleetwood Mac show, and the vast majority of people on the ship can never go see that show, as great as it is, because there's just no room. They don't have big enough venues. They launched the Sun Princess. The biggest complaint on the Sun Princess is the theater is too small. The dome is too small, the sphere. Places are just too small, and so much so that on the Star Princess, they've changed some of those venues now to add more space. But whoever said, getting more people on a cruise ship but having smaller venues was a good idea? It's not. And that's leaving a lot of people with just, what's going on? Who's thinking of these things? Because sometimes the ships are beautiful, they're just not functional. And when you keep cutting back, overcrowded, less services, changing our itineraries, trying to upsell us on everything we do, and give us a less experience on the ship because your venues are too small, I can't even get into these things, it makes us not want to cruise anymore and look at other options. And I don't know, I love cruising, but they've got to make some changes before they start turning people off of cruising. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys experienced any of this. Do you definitely notice short staff? Have you noticed the smaller venues on cruise ships? How about more overcrowding right now on the cruise ships? It just seems like it's becoming less of an enjoyable experience, and I am not a fan of that. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.